So here we are, it's day one on our new allotment adventure. And we are in the hills of North Yorkshire. So just leaving the house now, going to walk down to the allotment, kind of look at it, talk through some of my ideas, some of my plans, and give you the general lay of the land. Now what's really good with this allotment is it's right here, next to the house. I've been given permission to use this field and it's huge. Now as much as I would like to become a farmer and grow all my own stuff and things like that, I don't have the time nor the wealth to be able to do such a thing. So we're going to remain allotmenteers rather than farmers. But the plot size itself, if I stand up here, it's around maybe 70 square meters, something like that. I can extend it if I need to, but it's a good size, I think, for a starter plot anyway. But the key thing with this one is going to be around sustainability. As much as I would like to put loads of raised beds in and, you know, pave all the pathways and things like that, we don't have the finance to do that. So the idea with this channel is going to be, how can we do it sustainably, but how can we utilize things like sort of recycling, home composting, things like that. Obviously it's year one, it's mid-Feb, so we are going to have to get composting this year, but how do we build for next year so that maybe we can look after ourselves? At the bottom of the field we have this woodland row, so within that there's going to be lots of like leaf mold and things like that we can utilize. And the field itself is pretty big. What's most exciting is, you won't be able to see this on here, but down in the bottom corner there is a stream that runs the length of the garden, now the field. Now it's not an open stream, there's a fresh water spring somewhere up on top of the hill, so it runs down, but it's kind of running under undergrowth. But at the bottom it's very marshy down there, and there's some very marshy sort of plant life. So I went down there yesterday and had a quick look, and with a bit of spade work I can expose the water and get a bit of a flow. So I'm thinking watercress and maybe a few other bits and pieces, which is going to be great. So last year I made some fireweed tea. So here it needs chopping down at the moment, but this, which looks like waste ground, is actually fireweed. So we're going to be cutting that down at some point. We're going to try and create more growth on that one, and then that will be hopefully a bit of a homegrown tea solution. And for those that haven't had fireweed tea, it's very, very good. The previous people who did, because this was a bit of an allotment before, there's some kind of construction on here. There's this tower, which I'm thinking maybe to grow maybe some salad leaves in or something like that. Could be quite good if things are spilling down. So we look at that. It's built on a tub, but I mean it's falling apart, it's broken. But we can do that. There was a bit of a compost heap which was semi-rotted. Or semi-decomposed I should say. I have wrapped it just to try and speed up, because whilst the bottom was decomposed, the top is still a little bit brown. But yeah, so that is the plan. So today, day one, what are we doing? Okay, my battery died there, so let's try again. So there's a little bit of a disclaimer here. This isn't day one. Yesterday was day one, and we did start a little bit of work. So here we can see the startings of a raised bed. So the raised bed, the idea behind the raised bed is how can I do it without, again, purchasing loads of timber and things like that. So we chopped some conifer trees down, which left a load of branches and things, and slender trunks. And obviously you can't burn them in a wood burner because it fills the chimney with creosote. So I was like, okay, I could just have a bonfire, or could I use them? So we're going to try to bank up and use them as borders. So again, sustainability and reusing things from the garden and from the field. But yeah, so day one, what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to look at some liquid fertilizer. So I'll take you there next. Okay, so we're going down to our liquid fertilizer factory. Let's call it a factory. So for those who've never made, I should say, liquid fertilizer before, top tip, it stinks. On the last allotment I had, I sillily created a liquid fertilizer bin next to the house, and it smelled awful. So yeah, don't do that. So we're down in the woodland, as I spoke about, and here we have 3 water bins. Some of them already have rainwater in, but we'll collect more and we'll use the stream if we can get to it. Right, so why 3 bins? So the aim is to make 3 types of fertilizer, okay, or liquid fertilizer. So liquid fertilizer is not something you use daily. In fact, probably something you would use once a month. But within the liquid fertilizer, we're going to have 3 types. So the first one will be a high nitrogen one, so that will be for feeding brassicas and things like that. So in bin 1, it's going to be a lot of nettles, dock leaves. So nettles, high potassium, high nitrogen, dock leaves, things along those lines, grass clippings as well in particular. Bin 2 will be slightly more specialised, so that's potassium. Now comfrey is great, comfrey is really good, but I don't have any, and I don't have access to any, so I can't use comfrey. So I'm thinking banana peels, again more dock leaves, because dock leaves are like miners. They drill into the ground and they pull nutrients up, so dock leaves in there. Probably I've got some seaweed sheets, so I may use some of the seaweed sheets as well. We bought them for making sushi and then quickly realised that we don't like sushi, so I've got that to utilise, so we may use that in there as well. I think that would work as far as nitrogen is concerned. And then the third bin, the last one, that will be more general, so that will just be a mixture of everything, so kitchen scraps, grass clippings, dock leaves again, pretty much anything. So the idea will be is we will fill these bins up. Key thing with these bins is it's not like a compost bin where you stick it in and you can leave it alone and it will do its thing. With these bins you have to keep them active, so I would normally go in and stir it once or twice a week. Once is enough, in all fairness. And when you use it, you have to dilute it. So when it becomes strong and you make this kind of liquid fertilizer tea, you have to dilute it, otherwise it'll kill young plants for a start, because it's too rich. But also it can cause growth problems for even the more established plants. So the advice is, I think, if I remember rightly, is like 1 in 10 is the suggested dilution for a proper liquid feed. So just keep that in mind if you're making liquid feed at home. But it is very, very simple, but it does make sense that the general rule of thumb is nitrogen produces lots of leaves, potassium produces lots of fruit. So peas and beans, you want more fruit than leaves. This is why when you go in peas and beans, always test your soil if you can. Soil testing kits, you can buy them on Amazon for like £6, £7, really cheap. But always test your soil. If you've got high nitrogen, you'll get lots more leaves. If you've got not enough nitrogen, you won't get enough leaves. So it's finding that pH balance, that acidity, that alkaline, and that nitrogen level is really, really important. So yeah, you've got to keep that in mind. But yeah, so I'm going to fill the bins now. I've got rain collectors. I'm not going to be able to fill them full. We'll fill them what we can, and we will start to put a bit of some ingredients in there, but then over time we'll just keep filling it, and eventually we should have a good strong liquid feed supply. Okay, so what is the plan then? What is the plan for the garden? I've got a load of seeds. I could list them here, to be fair, but there's a lot of things that I'm planning on growing, a few extra bits which I haven't purchased yet. But Seeds Direct, for those that are looking for a good seed place, by the way, Seeds Direct is in my opinion, is the best in the UK. The seed quality is good. It's not the best cut seed quality in the world, but you will get lots and lots of germination, and you get loads. I spent £29 on a variety of seeds, as you can see from the list, and there's roughly 25,000 seeds for 29 quid, which is crazy. So Seeds Direct are absolutely superb. But yeah, so plans for the garden. We're going to do a lot of companion planting this year. So for those that have just looked at the seed list, you'll notice that there's a lot of things on there which aren't vegetables. But there's a lot of things there. Nasturtiums, everybody knows about nasturtiums. They are basically a must for an allotment, in my opinion. They will keep off so many bugs off of your brassicas and things. The biggest challenge we're going to have this year is going to be slugs. I was talking to a gardener who lives up the hill, and he was saying that slugs will destroy everything. So we're going to be building some slug traps. I am starting to see a few now. We've got a lot of frosting, which will kill a lot of them off, but I am starting to see, and I imagine if we pull up some of this stuff we've got down, yeah, slugs galore, brilliant. So we're going to have to go on a bit of a slug battle, I think, in this garden, but it is what it is. One thing you can't control, you can only fight. So yeah, so succession planting is going to be the plan. For the initial stuff that we're going to work on, we've already got one bed dug out, and I'll kind of take you to that now. So this bed here, we've already got wrapped up. So this is going to be for our Firestorm runner beans. So we've got a load of canes, so eventually the canes will go up. We'll plant the Firestorm in there. I like Firestorm runner beans because they crop really, really heavy. As long as you can get them past that kind of sort of 10-inch growth height, they become really, really strong, and you'll get a good crop off of those. The only danger we have here is we're very exposed to the wind. We're on the side of, we're south facing, or south east facing, but the wind here is terrible. So yeah, but there's nothing we can do about that. I can't build any windbreaks or anything, so it is what it is. We'll just have to make do. In the centre, it's a bit grown over at the moment, but in the centre around here, we'll build a wigwam.
Moonlight shine on a willow tree, casting shadows on the road to where you'll be. Silent echoes in the evening night, chasing phantoms of a past time. Your letters warm and creased with age, words of comfort from another page. In the quiet whispers of your name, lonely footprints in an endless game. Longing hearts and broken wings, love's a melody that sorrow sings. In the twilight, grief and grace, lament a ghost that wears your face. Old guitar in the corner, dust and pain plays a tune in the lonesome rain. Every note, a sigh, a tear, mourns the days when you were near. Crickets echo in the still of night, stars are dim without your light. Soft wind carries your sweet refrain through the fields of loss and gain. Longing hearts and broken wings, love's a melody that sorrow sings. In the twilight, grief and grace, lament the ghost that wears your face. Longing hearts and broken wings, Love's a melody that sorrow sings. In the twilight, grief and grace. I meant the ghost that wears your face.
Okay, so that's the wigwam base dug out, ready to go. I'm not going to build the wigwam yet. We've got winds coming in tonight, but I will do a video. There's a really good way of how you can build a wigwam to make it kind of windproof, which sounds a bit contradictory when I've just said I'm not going to build it because there's wind. But yeah, I need some bits and pieces for it first. But there's a semi-windproof version. It's just we've got a storm coming in tonight, so we'll leave it be. I will bank this with timbers, much like that, just to make it look nice. But I need to get the chainsaw out and cut some pieces of wood to finish that off, so I will get that finished. But yeah, so what have we done today then? So we've got a couple of beds ready, we've got them wrapped up, so hopefully the weeds will suppress a little bit. The soil will start to warm as we near spring, and that'll be ready for planting. Again, plan is going to be Cobra running beans in here, and then the Firestorm in here, which should give us a nice heavy crop. I may even put some more in. I've probably got about 180 beans, so I may even dig some more beds out. I'm not exactly lacking in space. Maybe even the other side of the little kind of roadway here. So I don't know, maybe it could be quite nice, or maybe something coming up the drive. We'll see. But I think for day one it's going to rain, so I'm going to go in to save things getting soaked. But day one, that's a quick overview of the allotment, some of the plans, some of the ideas. These ideas will change, will grow. We'll really lean into the companion planting, and I'll do some bits on that as well for anybody who's interested in companion planting. The idea behind it, by the way, is if we take any kind of section of the field, it's not all grass. Plants naturally grow with other plants, but plants don't grow with plants that they don't like. So for example, off the top of my head, I believe dill and fennel don't like each other. So okay, we use artificial versions now, but in nature, if they were growing, you wouldn't find them next to each other, simply because they counter. And I forget which way it is. I can't remember if it's dill puts fennel off from growing, or vice versa, but basically one suppresses the other. So so yeah, so that's the idea, is that plants like growing with other plants. So we're going to try that companion planting. Again, we're going to try keyhole planting. I think that might be quite cool, and it's different, and I haven't seen anybody else doing it, which means it might not work. So we could be sat here in August going, shouldn't a keyhole planted? But we will see. But no, so today we've got our water bins for our liquid feed set up. I have got a load of water capture things as well, so there's the bins down there. So we'll catch a load of rainwater. It looks like we're going to get a lot now, so we'll keep topping it up with rainwater, like I say, maybe some of the stream water as well. So next time round, what we're doing next time, maybe a bit more bed preparation. We'll start to talk about the planting plan, what we're going to be planting, when, what we're going to sow indoors, outdoors, and start to lay out a bit of a strategy for what we're going to do. I'm going to go on Google Earth after this, get a picture of the space from up in space, just so we can provide a proper plan and get it marked out properly, and then we will catch up in the next one. So yeah, this is video one. I don't know if this is presumptuous to say this now, but like and subscribe. Yeah, growing up north. I like it, sounds good.
Love's a melody that sorrow sings. In the twilight, grief and grace. I meant the ghost that wears your face.